Hey guys, it's me, Reddy, and if you know me, you know that my channel involves lots of cars, go-karts, and also some Monster Hunter. But today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite game series, just because I've known it for a long time, and just now it's getting the new release. Today I'm going to be talking about Forza Horizon 6, and some of my first impressions, what I really have enjoyed about the game so far, and also some of my initial gripes with the game, because I did get a little bit of playtime in, but I will say none of the footage that you're going to see on screen is actually mine. This is stuff that I got from YouTube. I will link the channel in the description below, but yeah, with that, I'm going to get started. Alright, so to start off here, I want to go over some of my initial impressions, because I started playing the game yesterday, and just as a baseline, I was really impressed. The map is fantastic, especially compared to 5. There's a lot of verticality, the roads are extremely twisty and just fun to drive, and looks-wise, the entire map is it's very scenic. And I think overall, the map uses that scenery very much to its advantage, because kind of no matter what road you're driving on, there's going to be something to look at, something new to see. And yeah, this is sort of a honeymoon phase, but I still think this map is just going to have a lot longer of a lasting impact compared to 5, because it's not flat anymore, and there's actually interesting roads to drive. Another thing that was very noticeable right from the start is the improved handling and the improved physics. It feels like cars have a lot more natural traction, and even if you go into a drift, say in a race or something, it feels controllable and maybe not necessarily realistic, but just a lot more fun to drive. Cars actually feel grippy to the road, and it also helps taking the new sharper corners that are all around the map. And then my final main thing that I got out of my first impressions was just the kind of vibe of the game. It felt a lot more lively. The festival actually felt like it was an important thing, not just the location or the reason you were there. It actually felt like a place with some people around. The map in general just feels a lot more lively with all the greenery, and also, while people still might complain about traffic, I think it's at a reasonable amount where it's not too much, but it's also enough where it still feels like the roads are pretty full most of the time. So for this section, I want to talk about some of the things that I think they did objectively better than older games. Not just stuff that I got out of my initial impressions and stuff that I actually think was a major improvement or really good addition to the game. The first thing that I'd definitely point out is just the progression. While it's still not something crazy, it's not Need for Speed by any means, it's a lot better than what other Forzas had. I think that while it's still really easy to get a decent bit of cars, the whole wristband progression with the races and all that, I think it's definitely just nice to have some form of working towards something instead of just getting all your races at once and being able to do everything at once. I think it really makes you more motivated to actually do the races. And along with that, I also like the feature that it kind of points you in the right direction of what you should be doing next in case you want to go explore and you kind of lose track of where you're at. Then you can just kind of get right back to the campaign. Another thing that I feel like they did significantly better on was the cutscenes and just characterizations in general. The characters aren't ungodly annoying this time. They seem a little bit more human, and while May with her constant rambling can get a little bit annoying, it's still way better than everything in Horizon Mexico. And then with that is cutscenes. They actually have them in this game, and they're decently consistent. Even just at the start of races and stuff, it is a lot more there's actually people. I feel like they just did a lot better of a job at making the world feel lived in with these cutscenes and somewhat decent characters. The final thing I want to touch on is, in my opinion, a pretty big improvement. It is the car list, and with that, the car sounds. They really did a lot of work getting the sounds to be way better, and I just think it's kind of nice to just turn off the music sometimes and listen to the cars. And also with the car list, I think they improved it by just adding more actual race cars, and I feel like every car kind of counts instead of just having some random ones or some different specs of the same car. So I think that was a pretty big improvement too. For this final segment, I'm going to just go over some of the stuff that I really think didn't improve or just isn't really that good. And I don't really want to dog on the game because I haven't really played it enough to have a full opinion on it, but this is just stuff that could have definitely been done better in my opinion. The first thing that I want to talk about is the online features and just the multiplayer too. I feel like this really wasn't improved at all compared to 5, and in some cases it's even worse. Me and my friends had a lot of connectivity issues and just trying to get into a convoy and doing simple stuff like that, along with the tuning, sharing, and like paint job sharing, all that being kind of down and just unable to be accessed. I'm sure this can get fixed later on, so I'm not too worried about it, but as of right now, it just was really rough and not really enjoyable. The next thing I'd definitely like to mention on this kind of bad side was just the customization, because while it's not inherently a terrible customization system, it just wasn't really improved at all from Forza 5. There's a few minor things that are nice, don't get me wrong, but overall I don't think it's enough improvement to justify it being in the good at all. It's more of in the middle, but I'd still consider it a loss that we didn't really get some more detailed customization. And I do understand that there's a lot of cars, so it's kind of difficult, but things like maybe tweaking the size of the wing or splitter, just taking off the tow hook, minor things that shouldn't be that difficult are missing in this game, and I think that really kind of is a detriment in my opinion. My final gripe about Forza 6 that I want to go over is the surprising lack of road races. I mean, there's obviously some, but I feel like compared to a lot of other games, there just isn't that many, despite this map that we have that's really, really good with a lot of good roads to drive on. This also includes like Tokyo City. I don't think I would mind if we just had a couple more road races that go throughout there, even if there was some overlap between tracks. For this final section, I'm just going to give some of my final thoughts on the game, like just as it is now. I haven't played that much again, so I'll probably do some sort of update or long-form review just later on. But as of now, the game is great. I would highly recommend it to anybody who enjoys racing in the slightest. I would highly recommend it to anybody who has enjoyed any of the Horizon games. It just has a few things that I think can get cleaned up and should get cleaned up, with maybe some more road races added in, and just overall better multiplayer and online connection. But other than that, I really have enjoyed this game so far, and I think it really is going to last a long time, and I think me and all of my friends are going to enjoy it for quite a while. So with that, thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. It was kind of just a ramble session, but I think it was fine. This is partially made for a school project, so sorry about the crappy mic quality and the background noise. Like and subscribe if you want to. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye! By the way, all this footage is from Shiroko. They put up some gameplay, it's just like 4K. I just didn't know it at the time when I was recording this a bit earlier, so I didn't have the name. But I will make sure to put that in the description, link it. If he wants me to take this video down, I will. Yeah, bye.